I want to go over some alternative industries other than silver that I know the silver bloggers and all the silver pump and dump people, all the names out there, Max Kaiser, Sprott, David Morgan. Actually, these are the more responsible names. And then they got more other names out there that are always pushing silver as the best opportunity there ever was in their whole life. And, buy silver, buy silver. It's the only financial safety out there. Everything else is going to go to bluey, and it's done. Well, I'm going to point out one thing. During the Depression times, I know there's a few industries that are very good. And one of them was the booze industry. This is Brown-Forman. I think they make Jack Daniels. Now, I don't drink, so I'm not pushing booze or anything like that. I'm a health nut, right? From 2007, say, for instance, the share price is around $61. Well, that's actually 2008. But later on, when they had the market crash in the stocks, it went from $61 down to $39. Lost, a good percentage, not half, but good percentage of its share price, over a third. But now it's recovered to $82. Now, let me point out that if you would have bought this stock back on January 1st, 2011, at a share price of, say, $67.92, say $68, you would have been up to $82. A large percentage move. I mean, that's more than 20%, right? Easily. What was that, 25% or something, right? Almost 25, or more than 20%, between 20 and 25%. So, just doing this in my head, but approximately right. Now, silver obviously didn't move up that much, so you actually would have been better buying this stock. Now, during times of economic crisis and depressions, booze seems to be a pretty decent stock to hold. And the other thing is, besides, most stocks, they pay some kind of dividends too. So, I mean, that's another advantage to it. And here's another stock, Philip Morris, cigarettes. Now, cigarettes is about the most addictive substance there is known. And it's more addictive than, I almost hate to say this because I don't smoke, I don't take any drugs or anything like that, but I almost hate to say this, but cigarettes have actually been proven to be more addictive than even hard drugs. Now, I'm not encouraging people to take hard drugs or anything like that, but it's been proven. Like, for instance, Dr. Robert Beck, Ph.D., developed the biotuner, which helped with rehab clinics with heroin addicts and stuff like that. It had a very, very high success rate with, like, cocaine and heroin addicts. It was more than 80%. And with cigarettes, it was down to like 40%. He was stating that it was the most addictive substance going. Well, in times of economic crisis, people actually work for cigarettes. People will actually work for cigarettes and booze, and it actually functions as money, just like silver. And actually, a lot of times, if people need to smoke and they're addicted to the stuff, if you show them a piece of silver and you show them a couple packs of cigarettes, I'd almost guarantee you which one they're going to take. So, have it your way. But, I'm getting tired of these silver bloggers telling people what to do. Like, they know for a fact, you know what? Well, look at it. They wouldn't be bloggers if they knew what the hell they're doing. That's their whole damn livelihood, blogging. So basically it's a bunch of BS. And I'm playing some BS on here too, but you know what? I'm pissed off at them, so I'm kind of throwing my 2 cents in there too. $55 was a share price back in 2008, before the financial crash, and then after the financial crash, it went down to 33. This thing lost more than half its value. But then it went up to $90. And I just want to point out, say for instance, when silver was $30 an ounce back in January 1st, around that price, January 1st, 2011, the share price on this thing was $56. It went up to almost $90. So in other words, the damn thing went up more than 80%, right? Now, if silver went up 80%, you'd never hear the end of it from the silver crowd. Now, I'm not knocking silver because I got silver, but you know what? These guys they're just telling everybody a bunch of garbage sometimes because there are other investment opportunities out there that have been doing super, super good. And I don't think these are temporary investment opportunities people that are into booze, I'm not one of them, or cigarettes, and I'm not one of those either. They will buy this stuff. They will buy this stuff, and actually it functions as money. Actually, in a practical sense, it functions as money better than silver. People will work for booze and cigarettes. It's amazing. You'd be surprised. The silver crowd doesn't like telling people that, but they do. So actually, I can tell you right now, even though these things are up, these probably aren't bad investments. They probably aren't. Here's another one that's not a good investment. And New York Times, God, they're getting killed. And I think a lot of it is because nobody's listening to them anymore because they're establishment media and all this kind of garbage. So you got YouTube, you can listen to people like me, right? Anyway, you got from 2007, it went down to $26. Now, this would have been a terrible investment. And it went down to $4. And say, for instance, you went back into this at $10, you're down. You're down. It did worse than silver. So, scratch one for the New York Times. But I do want to point out that J.P. Morgan crashed this. Is J.P. Morgan holding this back? No. People are not investing in the New York Times. I think it's, I don't know. I don't want to make a comparison on that, but you know what I mean. Now, this is another entertainment group. It's called Private Media, which is actually the porn industry. And I know a little bit about this industry because my friend of mine is actually a photographer. Well, not a photographer. One of those. He's a cinema media group, and he's got his own freelance business. Does corporate work and also does porn, and actually works. He's from Miami. He works with Bank Brothers down in Miami. He told me that this industry is like collapsed, gone. It's like done. And actually I can't even find, there's not too many stocks that are actually on the market about this. This is Private Media Group. Now talk about a stock that got collapsed. This was back in 2007. This stock was selling for almost $11 a share. It went down to 12 cents. 12 cents. In other words, it dropped like 100 times. It's down to like a tenth, 1% of what it was. So if you knew how to short a stock, this would have been the stock to short. This is an industry that gets clobbered. Now, during the Great Depression, actually, like the major media movie houses did super good. But obviously, this is like, the problem is with this industry, it's like, it's the same garbage. It's not necessarily entertainment. It's like, but it tells you, you're going to say, what does Ben Bernanke at fault for this? Ben Bernanke, you haven't saved the porn industry. What's the matter with you? You need to give them a fiscal stimulus plan or something. What are you going to do? You're going to, give them a bailout or some shit? Really, come on. So, if you were like focusing on an argument against Ben Bernanke, you could do it and say Ben Bernanke has been doing a terrible job on QE because he hasn't helped the porn industry, right? There's an industry that's destroyed. QE didn't help this at all, right? So, I don't know. What the hell? That's the kind of things that but this is the kind of, I'm making up a stupid argument here, but you're hearing this garbage from these silver bloggers, and it is a bunch of garbage. Because, I can make an argument about this. Look at Ben Bernanke. He didn't help this industry. Whatever. Now, this industry is actually doing great. This is the firearms industry. It's something that people don't even think about much. It's like, well, maybe some people do. If you want a Second Amendment rights, and I guess I believe in that. I think the Second Amendment is a good thing. But just don't shoot anybody. Other than that, it's a good thing, right? And you got this thing here on 2007. It's like $18 a share, right? And then it crashes, right? So it goes down to 5. Well, it's up to 51. It went up 10 times. Now, say, for instance, you sold your silver back in January 1st, 2011. And this thing you bought for, under $15 a share. Well, guess what? It went up more than 3 times. It went up more than 3 times. Silver isn't at $100 yet, right? Right? So this is why the major media doesn't get so super excited about silver. It's not a conspiracy. They don't even talk about this. The major media don't like to peasants having the right kind of tools instead of pitchforks. They don't like them having guns, right? I mean, you could say the elite don't like them peasants having guns, right? They don't tell you about this, right? So was that a conspiracy too? Well, maybe it is. Who knows? Actually, this is probably a pretty good stock to have, even though it went up so much. It almost wouldn't seem too crazy that this stock wouldn't go up to like $100 a share, no problem. And I don't really have any forecast in the firearms industry or anything like that, but I do know the firearms industry, the cigarette industry, and the booze industry, and sometimes the entertainment industry, but not the porn industry, can do very, very well during depressionary times, because these are things that people seem to view as essentials. And that's beyond what like Jim Rogers or Mark Farber talks about. Talk about precious metals, equities, and when utility companies that we have, pays dividends out of some Chinese utility company or agricultural stocks. They don't talk about this stuff. So I figured I'd throw this out there because you think about it, these damn stocks did a hell of a lot better than any of the crap that Jim Rogers or Mark Faber told me to buy, which is cigarettes, booze, and firearms. So it's not a bad idea. And we got to talk to Ben Bernanke because he hasn't been doing the right kind of stimulus for the porn industry. It's kind of look like not too good here. So anyway, Ben, help out the porn industry. They need your help.